Welcome back. Last year, the Philippines welcomed nearly 5.5 million tourists into the country, well beyond government's target of 4.8 million. As the country sees more local international tourists, there is a growing call for government to promote sustainable tourism to balance tourism revenue with preserving the country's environment. To talk to us about sustainable practices in the tourism industry, we have Cyndy Tan Jarabata. She's the president of TAJARA Leisure and Hospitality Group. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, and hello and good evening to you, Salve.
Very welcome here because sustainability is such a big topic now in the business industry. But first, let's talk about TAJARA. What's the business model and what does it do?
So in short, when people ask me, we develop hotels for a living. So which means, well, not our money, other people's money. But what we do is that we help our clients from the design aspect. Of course, we collaborate with a lot of designers, work with them on the highest best use of the project. So depending on the location in the landscape, it could be a resort, hotel in an urban setting or a rural setting. But at the same time, what's important is that we also have to look at the budget. How do they get funds?
Yeah.
And you mentioned about sustainability. It's actually inculcated in all the plans these days. Also to the point of getting the operator. So it could be any of the global brands internationally, or maybe what's fitting is someone that we work with locally.
Do you target a specific size for your projects?
You know, that's something that our company has been practicing. We do not reject any clients in a sense where we talk to everyone, but not everyone is actually fitting in terms of doing any hospitality projects. So we're also very honest to say it may not be the project you want to get into because the returns can be very low, very long. But one thing interesting is because the capital assets are there. So, you know, the land values are there, how expensive to construct right now. So basically, it's an asset you can keep for the family. But what's very important is for us to determine what is palatable to a client because the risk factor is also there, and what is your risk appetite. So we want to be able to ideally define a project suited for the clients.
So what is fitting?
Take for
I like
instance,
that you did that first.
Okay, yeah. So, okay, if you would have shown us a property in not necessarily far-flung area, let's say, take for instance, Mactan.
Okay.
I believe we were the first to have, again, gone back to Mactan where people were shying away and going to, let's say, BGC. I mean, one specific project. And then when the property was, we helped select the property also, not even a property that was offered to us. It was sometimes we do acquisition for clients because it mitigates risk. And then we looked at the project. When we go into 5-star, minimum 5-star, because of land values and also construction cost and also interest cost. We decided, we helped the client decide to also do some sort of a mixed use in a sense where aside from the hotel, we have branded residences, which we have proven to be very efficient, very lucrative for development. So you see the growth and development in those areas with branded resi.
Well, I know that you've worked on a lot of projects. I looked at your website. There's a long list of very successful projects there already, both local and with foreign partners, right? But what was the need that your business model filled up? Why did you start this business? I mean, you would normally think, you know, if I'm going to put like $500,000, let's say, $500 million pesos in a project, I'd do it myself. But what was the need that you filled up that allowed you to create this B2B business model?
I worked at a hotel since I think can remember. I think my life's direction was always this one. I knew it when I was 18. And then, but one thing interesting, because I was also doing a lot of the pre-opening. So I worked with the Shangri-La Mactan, the Aman, and also done some, renovation project or redevelopment. One thing that owners don't realize is that how you develop. So it's good to just say, okay, I'm giving up in the hotel job. I want to be a consultant. So a lot of the consultants, what they just do in operations, very few get into development cycle, or they think they do. So I guess a bonus there, because I'm a third-generation contractor, I'd say. Construction was never really what I wanted, although my father always brought me around. But the bonus there is because we can read plans. We can also look at bids and so on. So one of the things that which was kind of pivotal in terms of developing or creating the business was to advise clients on what is right to build. So I guess that's the kind of the reason why I went into the consulting business. So an operator can always give you a projection, 10-year projection, but if you don't build right, that's the problem. So it could be overbuilt or underbuilt, so you're not able to forecast a projected market, a target market, or Philippines, let's say, in certain situations, when you have actually the air, the traffic flow in terms of land, boat, and also by air, you're not able to project the traffic there. So meaning travelers.
So you could waste money.
You can waste money, exactly, or build something that will disrupt a current asset. So it's very important to build right.
So would you say, well, of course, having you will increase costs, but long term you actually save money?
You never save money when it comes to hotel.
Okay.
I think if you want to get into the business, oh my God, so I love to spend, but you want to spend it right. You mentioned earlier about say 500 million. That's your own money, but what if you can leverage and actually get money from the back?
So that's the value that you
that's the
provide.
value also. And one thing good is that who to work with. So an operator is key in terms of development. Some owners I know, they want to manage it themselves in such a way wherein you may probably have 3 rollouts of hotels in the pipeline. So some would just say, no, I'd rather run it myself.
So would you say going into the tourism sector now, is it a good idea? Do you make, how much, what's your net income margin if you go into it? And what's the ramp in terms of
well, depends again. So there's no rule of thumb. If you get into, say, the hotel industry, so we're lucky to have done from luxury, 5-star, 4, mid, up until economy and budget hotels. We've done a lot of the rollouts as well. Some would say the payback would about between 7 to 10 years. But if you go into the luxury sector, oh my God. So you need to mitigate.
Oh my God, longer or
yes,
shorter?
Yes, much longer. So we help clients strategize in terms of how you're able to deflect from the potential negative NPV, IRs, and so on. So that's why we bring in the branded residences. But it only works on a 5-star in luxury because it's hard to put a full service hotel on a luxury on a 5-star setting. So if you're selling residences, it's better to actually position it on a 5-star minimum.
Very interesting. Within this market, which one makes most?
Most in terms of
income, ROI.
I would say upper mid lifestyle hotels. Because you don't build to a certain scale, but yet when it's peak season, you can charge. When it's mid or low season, usually people would like to still come to something that's quite moderate. But what's interesting is that when times are bad and people kind of limit their travels, they would go to something that is affordable but can deliver the service also. That I would put my money on.
Very resilient. Very resilient.
And not only that, good F&B. Because it has also been proven that when you have a strong food and beverage and you know how to run it.
Oh gosh, Filipinos love to eat.
The return. So when I do runs for clients, the hotel sector, the payback may be longer. So for me to get a little bit more budget from the owners, F&B, my returns should be 3 years.
And the barrier to entry, I suppose, in terms of capital is not very high.
Not very high, but when you put it in one entity, which is a hotel, it gets very high because you kind of have to divide now how capex would be. But so I would say if you've spoken to me like 5-10 years ago, the game is different. Now, so many brands, so many types of hotels. You can actually just say like a capsule type of rooms, but the food and beverage is big, and especially you have a working market now who actually likes to work in coffee shops.
Is it getting crowded?
Depends again on location. So crowded in the sense we're in, if you're talking about the urban setting, at one point, yes. So a lot of the movement is also outside. One of the things we've seen huge change is luxury sector. because of increase of land cost, increase of construction
cost also.
bank loans, my goodness. So you have to really be intelligent in putting where the money is. But of course, it's not for everyone. So I would always tell the clients, I may be the first and last person you want to talk to, because I'll tell you honestly how it is to invest. Again, the appetite for risk is different.
Why sustainability?
Because we've been practicing this for so long.
Before it became a buzzword, I suppose.
Yes, way before. I guess because of partners we've worked with in the past. It wasn't even sustainability before. It was just eco-friendly.
Yeah, I remember.
It was environmentally. It was just that. And then you have sustainability. Actually, not only that, even in design. It used to just be sustainable design. And then now it's regenerative design. So people have a different word to...
But
I guess because
it's the same meaning.
It's the same meaning.
All right.
You care for environment. That's it.
And this is, so nowadays it's a buzzword, but I understand that if you're going to take into consideration the entire operation, it's not that easy. You can't say completely that I'm 100% sustainable, because your suppliers might not be, and your garbage might go to the local government unit, which may not follow sustainability
one of the things is
rules.
it starts from design. We would always say, so we're at the heart of how you work on things and develop and design things. So first it starts on design, because design determines, okay, where's your airflow? Where do you capture the sun the most? So that means you have to look at solar. So that starts from the, and development. Developers now understand that whatever they build, there's an emission.
Even the color of paint, right?
Yes, and then even hallways now, do you want it with aircon, without aircon? So these are all looked into. Why? Because operating cost is getting higher. Its electrical cost is high, not only in terms of electricity, but also water.
So you're saying it makes good financial sense.
It makes financial sense, and we have proven it. Even for
like
food
how
waste,
much in terms of percentage can you say?
well, depends on how. Like if you're ready in, investing on double glass paints, so things like that. So it could be significant because each hotel is different, but. Take for instance, if you look at the P&L of an operating project, electricity accounts for
one of the highest costs.
8 to 9 to even 10% of your total revenue. So that's a lot of money. So you have to think wisely. Not only that, also food. So you talked about operations earlier. Food is also, the food waste is a lot. That's like, a statistics came wherein 1/3 of the food that we purchase is 1/3 of that goes to waste.
I hate that image.
I hate that image too.
Cyndy, not enough time. I hope you can come back and let's talk about real estate next time. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much too.
And that's your Business Outlook. I'm Salvi Duplito. The World Tonight comes your way at the top of the next hour. Keep it here on ANC.